case of Rio de Janeiro. And we're going to try and answer some of these questions in a different order because of the kind of a logic behind all of this. First of all, do we agree that this is a smart city? Well, yes, but also special effects here. No. Why not? Because of what we're going to explain in a while. It is what's called in English a definite maybe, in the sense that maybe there's something there for us to learn from, both in what they did right and what they did wrong. The way they present this case in the article, we're asking, do we agree with how it's presented? We don't really agree with how it's presented because our vision of what a smart city is from our perspective, from our experience, and from what we've learned so far today is that it's not just a matter of throwing technology at a problem or just trying to come up with ideas on how to use existing technologies. It takes a lot more than that. What actually makes a smart city a place that people actually love? I mean, we've all heard about Songdo and how it's kind of empty and that it's a work in progress and so on.
Alex, sorry to interrupt. Can you briefly elaborate what the problem was in the article?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem in the article is basically that we are trying to solve a few problems by using technology without going to the underlying basic problems that have to do with what makes an actual city a smart city, which is a place that people can live and work and fulfill their potential in many ways. We don't agree that this is a smart city. We don't agree that this article presents Rio de Janeiro as a smart city. It does present a city that is trying something. That's why we put here, it's something. It's terrible, but it's a start. In the sense that from what the article says, we can gather that the different agencies that comprise the government are only now starting to come together and share information and think about what the next steps are going to be. They believe that they've achieved something, and in fact some of the citizens also agree that they've achieved something in the sense that they are using the existing cameras to monitor places that they want to preserve, and they're also using, the government is also using the cameras to prevent protesters from exerting their rights. So it's something, but it's not exactly what a smart city really should be. In our definition, what makes a smart city is a city is an urban development that is thought out in the long term, not short-term solutions like the ones we see in the article. We have local governance or even hyper-local governance that takes care of needs at a local level and uses local expertise and the help of the residents of every locality in order to solve these problems by offering different types of services to citizens, to visitors. And it does use information technology and Internet of Things and innovation and all sorts of systems, but not for the sake of just using technology itself. It's to make the processes better and to provide better quality of life for people in an efficient manner, also providing safety, not only with cameras, but many other forms of safety and security that people need besides what could be a reactive set of cameras. All of this has to work seamlessly because, as we can see in the Rio case, and we see in other cases in other cities that they're going to talk about, there are many occasions where systems are separated and these silos of information bring us work that is done multiple times, resources that are used in multiple occasions where the economies of scale are not being used. And it also allows for a more participative society, where people are not only the object of the government, they are also the subject, and they are also co-governing with their authorities, and they have a say in what happens in their lives. But in order to do that, we not only have to have smart lighting and smart parking and smart roads, we also need to have, and this is very important, smart citizens. You mentioned education. A lot of the times when you work in retail, if anybody here has worked in retail in the past 20 years, you've probably heard of business intelligence or commercial intelligence in some languages. And this is making informed decisions based on actual actionable information that you gather, and you can make intelligent forecasts of what's going to happen, so you can fix your supply chain, so you can do a better job of satisfying your customers. But we also need civic intelligence, not only in the part of the authorities exerting their power over the government, we also need civic intelligence in the hands of the people. In the case of Rio de Janeiro, yes, we have some participation of the people in providing their help with the cameras and the bottles and everything else. But if you go and ask them, who's responsible for picking up the trash, they'll probably just say, oh, that's the government's responsibility. But they won't be able to name the exact authority that has to do it. And they only learn about it when maybe a relative runs for office, or if for whatever reason. But we need to incentivize people to learn what the structures are so they can make better use of them, or in the case of outdated structures, make them better, make them simpler, more efficient. In that case, that's why we would say that maybe, in this case, what we need to do is take all the successes of certain regions and all the failures of certain regions and make them into a kind of a best practice manual that people can implement depending on the region. Because yes, we all across the globe have some of the same problems, but some other problems are a little bit more local. For example, you can handle monsoon season in the Southeast Asia region in one way, and tornado season in the North American region in another way. And you can probably take some of the examples of Scandinavian cities and apply them across the entire peninsula, but maybe not all of those solutions might have the same result in, say, Central America. And I believe that through organizations such as this one, when we come back to our own countries, we can either participate, or if we can't find one, we can create organizations that can take all of this expertise, both in the successes and in the failures, and learn from each other and implement smarter cities as a process, not a destination.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.